Well, less than 24 hours after the first jabs were administered, there are new concerns this morning surrounding Pfizer's COVID vaccine after two nurses suffered allergic reactions. Now, this comes as Queensland's government weighs up the possibility of potentially a no jab, no school policy. To discuss all that and plenty more, we're joined by Tasmanian Senator Jackie Lambie and the host of The Briefing, Tom Tilley. Good morning to both of you. Jackie, I might start with you. Yesterday it was a day of so much promise for everyone around the world when we saw the rollout, but the allergic reactions here, I think that will be a bit of a cause for alarm for some people.
Oh, look, absolutely. I think these are going to be the unintended consequences, and I don't think, whether it's a jab, whether it's medication, people do. It might suit a lot of people, and then you'll get a handful where it really has some sort of reaction on them and can actually make them quite sick. So I think we're just going to have to give and take with that. Look, I salute the UK for being the first ones to put their hands up and be guinea pigs. I'm a bit concerned about saying, no jab, no school. That's a bit worrying. I think by throwing that out there at the parents in their face when we still don't know enough about this vaccine and we haven't watched it go through, I would have just sat back and not said anything about that at this point in time. But look, I tell you what, it's a Christmas gift in itself. Let's hope to God it works. Absolutely.
The whole world is riding on this. Tom, Jackie touched on it there, but the idea of this no jab, no school, do you think that's fair enough in Australia? Would you support that?
Potentially, but I think Jackie's right. You need to be really sensitive. Like, this is a pretty, scary situation for a lot of people, and this week's a classic case. It's sort of like the 2020 roller coaster all over again, and this week's been another loop-the-loop that we didn't see coming, where we have this moment of cheering this 90-year-old woman, and then the next day we're finding about allergic reactions. But there were 40,000 people involved in the stage 3 trial, but this vaccine's going to have to roll out to hundreds of millions of people. So we are going to get those 1 in a million cases where something might go wrong. So people are watching this very carefully. So to suddenly start talking about forcing it on people when we still don't know exactly how it's going to play out is maybe not the right strategy. Next year, things could look very different, and that may well be the right way forward. We do that already with a number of other vaccines.
Jackie, it was interesting to note a report in the paper this morning that suggests that in Australia they'll be looking to give the vaccination first to prisoners and people that are severely obese, as opposed to how they've done it in the UK with health workers and the elderly first. Do you think that's the right approach?
Look, I think those who are in close contained areas, we certainly need to look at them, but we should be going through the health workers. We have a lot of elderly down in Tasmania. We certainly need to be making sure that we look after those people first, who are more than likely going to either with the elderly that that they can get sick fairly easy. We need to make sure we're looking after them, and that if it does spread again, we need to make sure our health workers, we can't afford for them to go down. They need to be there to look after us.
Well, Jackie, you touched on your home state there of Tasmania, 120 consecutive day streak without coronavirus there, but unfortunately it's come to an end. They've got these 3 new infections that have been recorded, a woman and 2 children. Fortunately, they are in hotel quarantine, but I guess it does highlight a lot of the pressure that is on the system now.
Yeah, I think, we don't have a choice. We've got to bring our own home. We've got to do that as quickly as possible. I think most people are expecting this. We haven't got our eyes shut to this. We know that they're going to bring this back. But we do know that, we have the Army in there again, down there in Tasmania. They did a fabulous job when they were down there last time at the North West Coast Hospital. I praise them. They'll be down there spending their Christmas, no doubt. But, this is the right thing to do, but we've got to bring our own people home. We can't leave them overseas any longer. This is expected, and as long as we've learnt how to quarantine properly, we'll get through this.
Well, it does seem like we are getting on top of the hotel quarantine process now. Tom, do you think it has reached a point where we have to say, OK, we need to increase the caps here? There are so many Aussies dying to get home. What's the hold-up?
Yeah, well, we haven't had another outbreak like we did in Melbourne from their botched hotel quarantine. And I think, this alarm in Hobart just shows how well we're doing, that we're getting, concerned about a mother and 2 children who've got COVID in hotel quarantine. That's what it's for. So I definitely think there is room to expand it. I think we're doing really well. It's good to be alert about, these cases, but not too alarmed.
Hey, Jackie, I want to get on something I know you're very passionate about. It's the trials of this cashless welfare card. They've Now been extended for 2 years. You've been really strongly opposed to this. The good news for you, I guess, is despite this extension, you did help block it from becoming a permanent measure in Parliament.
Yeah, I think for me, I think this is the longest trial in history in Australia. I have never seen anything go on trial for so long. They dropped the ball, they dropped the game, which has been really unfortunate. I think the other thing is we've had 4 ministers during that first rollout of Sejuna's doing very well because we threw everything at it and we wrapped it up with cotton wool. Unfortunately, as they've gone to each trial area, giving everything out, it's become less and less and less, and it's just not being so as successful as it should be. If it takes 5 years to get the card right and we still haven't added the jobs, the rehab centres, the psychologists and the counsellors, what's this going to take 10 years? That's what's bothering me. What could be so great? They just dropped the ball on it, mate, and this is why they're having the difficulty. Look, I wouldn't have got them. I certainly, Central Alliance did the deal, and good on them. For being so brave, but I certainly wouldn't give them 2 years. I would have said you've had enough time, you've got 1 year. At least bring it down to 1 year, otherwise it's going out the window. Look, if this is working in some of these areas, and I have seen the difference it can make, but if you put all those additives on top of it, mate, oh my God, you'll blow it out of the water. It'd be fabulous. Very
good. Now, from something that you feel very passionate about, we're going to finish on something that I feel very passionate about. It's the great Christmas tree debate, real versus fake. An etiquette expert saying the real deal is more socially acceptable. Tom, are you a real or a fake man?
Well, I grew up in the bush and I used to walk out of the house with an axe to cut down the Christmas tree for the family. So that's how I like to do it. And to be honest with you, since I moved to the city many years ago, I haven't known what to do. I'm kind of stuck in the middle. I prefer the old lumberjack method.
Oh, wow. Jackie, how about you? You take the axe out?
Look,
I'd like to see you swinging the axe.
No, absolutely. I want to be really careful how I'm saying this because I don't want to get Tasmanians in trouble, but we have a big stock of pine plantations down there, and their stock drops a lot in that last couple of weeks going into Christmas. There are a lot of in the dark secrecy things going on and stealing going on out there, mate. Now I may be one of those. I do have a fresh plant. Absolutely. So, you know, we do like those. It's that pine smell. There's just something about walking into a house and having that beautiful, fresh Christmas tree, shaving cream all over it, all decorated, put the lacquer on it, and the angel on top, mate. Doesn't get any better than that.
Shaving cream? I haven't heard the shaving cream one.
Me neither.
Jackie, Tom, great to see you both. Appreciate your time this morning.
We just need to see Tom and Tom side by side here, because this has been freaking me out all morning. I mean, your twins separated at birth, but
wow.
Mum, you got the same name. Does anyone else see that?
There's a real strong element of mums in our generation who lacked creativity.
When it came to
I've got 5 friends called Tom.
You are... No, look at you, though. You're twins.
Well, the other thing, guys, is Tom and I actually live in the same suburb. I've seen him around in my local coffee shop.
Oh,
it's getting weird.
Plot thickens. Plot thickens.
We're twins. There you go. Good to see you guys. Hey, Christmas trees. You don't even have one.
No, I don't.
I haven't put mine up either.
We can talk about that later.
I don't know that I want to talk to you anymore after that. Real trees all the way, folks. Still to come on today.